is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I saw this on my Twitter page today, and I really didn't know what to make of it. This is a book entitled Stay Away from Sneaky Snow Bunnies, and the caption says, Black author writes a children's book titled Stay Away from Sneaky Snow Bunnies. Would you read this to your child? Now that is a very good question. We know that the term snow bunnies refers to white women, and specifically white women who date and marry black men that have come into some kind of wealth, and they are coming into that relationship for financial gain. And this is also embedded in the idea that many black men have a kind of self-hating aspect of their personality. They don't like themselves and they don't like the women that reflect them. Now that is what some people think. And when they get money, they realize that fantasy of being with a white woman. So in some corners of our community, white women are looked upon as gold diggers and enemies of the black family. And some black men, especially Dr. Umar Johnson, who's against interracial marriage, calls them snow bunnies. So we kind of know the history of this. But the question in the title is, would you read this book to your child? Now, I haven't read the book, but just looking at the title, I don't think I would. I don't believe I would read a book to my child that said, stay away from snow bunnies. And this is really kind of an offensive term. White women are white women. They're not snow bunnies. Now, if you have a reason why you don't want your child, your son, let's just stick with boys for the moment. If you don't want them to date outside of their race, you need to give them some real reasons why you don't want them to date outside their race. I happen to know that white people tell their children that they want to keep their race pure. Now, I don't know about other races, but I know that they tell their children that because I've heard them say that to me. We are pure. That's what they would say, they're pure, which I never believe that because you can't know. There's no way you can know that. But that's what they will say. And they don't feel guilty about it, and they don't think they're being racist. But they will tell their children that we want to keep our race pure. Add to that the fact that many people in the world see our blackness as a stigma, even to saying that we're cursed. So that's something to unpack all by itself. And even if a person is attracted to you, they may not say that to you in the beginning of that relationship. But if you get deep into that relationship, all of that stuff might come out in a very hurtful and painful way. I would bring out statistics on the long-term predictions of those relationships, but more importantly, how the children are affected. Children of biracial parents, especially a white mom and a black father, have a hard time adjusting in society. Many times they do not want to be black. Many times they don't even look black, but people are telling them that they're black, and they don't even know how to navigate in that society. And then the chances of them staying together long enough for those children to reach adulthood are slim, just being factual. So all of that needs to be taken into consideration when you're considering marrying outside your race. You can get divorced inside your race when you're married to someone of your own ethnicity, but still those children know where they belong. They know they belong in the black race. But when you go out there and procreate with somebody from another race, those children may not look like they belong to either race, and that is a problem for those children. And for that reason, it makes sense to bond with somebody who has a similar experience and a similar culture. And that way you can work through it together. That's what I would say to my son. I would not disparage the white woman just for being white. Because the white woman really might be a very nice person. I mean, the white women or the white woman that he met might be very nice, but she still brings that culture with her too. So you're actually trying to mix race and culture, and that's very difficult. And those relationships have the greatest failure rate, especially with black men and white women. But interracial relationships have a high failure rate. They are hard to maintain over time. I would also hope that my son would have the intelligence to understand that black people in America cannot operate as individuals and be successful. We are better as a group. As goes one, so goes the group. Those of us who are old enough to remember the O.J. Simpson situation can attest to the fact that all of us were treated as if we had deleted those two people. And O.J. Simpson had divested from the black community as far as I could tell. But when those two people came up missing, they threw him back to us. And white folk were mad all over this country at black people, not just O.J. Simpson. And the rest of us didn't even know him or the woman. But the point is that we get convicted for what somebody else does, which is why it's important to operate as a group. There's power in a group. There's not power in an individual trying to divest from the group. There's no power in that. And some people have to learn that the hard way. And finally, I would just say that I really don't have a problem with white people. If we had come to the United States just like everybody else and had been able to work and live as individuals and not as slaves, I wouldn't have a problem with my child dating and marrying anybody they wanted to. But because of the circumstances that we came here, because of the circumstances that we have lived under, it has all been about our race. And they will lie and say, it's not about race. It's not about race. It was absolutely about race. Black people were the only people in this country enslaved. Black people were the only people that they went looking for to enslave. The Mexicans who are coming over here now across the border illegally claiming that they want a better way of life and they want to work and do all of this, they've been over there all the time. So why didn't they want to come here then when the country really needed workers? But now they're coming here across the border, and even with America, talking about how hard everybody else works. But they wouldn't go right across the Texas border and get those Mexicans, went all the way to Africa to get black people to come here and work for free. So, this whole idea about it's not about race and it's not about race, that's just a lie. That's just a lie. And it will come back to bite you if you ever try to buy into that. So I would never say, oh, stay away from those snow bunnies. I would give what I would consider some sound reasons why I would not want my son to marry outside of the African American ethnicity. And then if he, after hearing everything that I had to say, because I would start with this very early in my own family, my mother told my 5 brothers, you bring me some decent black girls, don't bring no white girls up in here. So that's how she felt about it. And she made that clear from the very beginning. And so they all married very nice black women. And I would do the same thing. But at the end of the day, your child's life is your child's life. And after you've given them reasons why you wanted them to stay within your own ethnic group, and they decided that they wanted to go out and do something different, then I would say that's your choice in your life. Understanding that you have defied your parents' wishes. And I think that needs to be put into it too. But if I wanted my child not to marry white women or some other race of women, I wouldn't do it by trying to disrespect those women or put those women down. I would give reasons why I didn't want my son to marry outside of his race and ethnic group. I wouldn't even have a problem with my son, marrying someone from the Caribbean or Africa as long as they were black, because race and skin tone have been the deciding factor in America about how you're going to be treated, whether or not you're going to be able to get a job, whether or not you're going to go to jail for little or nothing, how long you're going to stay in jail for little or nothing, and whether or not you'll be able to vote or get a job once you pay your dues to society for a crime you may or may not have committed. It has all been about skin color, and I don't think any black person should let somebody fool them into thinking that it has never been about skin color, because it's always been about skin color in America. I don't care what they're saying now. It's always been about you being black and them being white. And I just wouldn't want to play into the hands of the white supremacists by trying to integrate and assimilate into their society, which I don't think is fair. And that would be how I would do it. That is exactly how I would do it. But let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.